if you have an advice for the teams, like at what point they can understand that they need to switch from traditional providers and activate options from that cloud providers, switch to you or to other platforms. How can they understand that they do not have enough, I don't know, power or capacity with traditional setup, but they need to consider adding GPUs? If this question even make any sense.
No. I get it. I get it. I think it's not necessarily about understanding when you need like a different solution. I think it all starts from like a pain. So, like obviously, when you have like a pain or a problem, you look elsewhere for solutions and try not to be stuck in what you currently use. The pains, like people might might turn to our platform because of the pains and the problems they might have on other cloud solutions that they're currently be using. So what we want to, well, first of all, we are vertical on AI. So there are other
Mhm.
solutions like, for example, AWS, GCP, Azure. They're a great platform. Super, they have so many products, but they're also extremely complicated to use. And if you want to perform that specific task and you're just starting out as a company, or you just want to maintain your structure like very lean, you don't want to deal with all those decisions of like setting up an infrastructure. And you might just simply want to have machines just when you need, so maybe not be locked in into like long-term contracts, but you want to be able to switch on and off your machines like by the minute, for example. Or you want to be able to scale your machines, from 0 to 100 and back to 0 within minutes because of your real-time usage. These are not something that we convince people to do. It's just simply they are born from their needs and their problems that they're encountering. And this is what we want to tackle. So the whole abstraction of those decisions, but not just infrastructure decisions, also workflows within AI, and particularly the development of AI agents, which I think is the next step in AI. Many companies now, this more generalist model are not necessarily the right solution for them. They want agents that are more specific, that adapt to the information that they are provided. Again, they want to be able to create them, and not necessarily just from scratch. So AI agents are built from tools that at the moment are probably all
Mhm.
scattered everywhere on GitHub. So they're just like pieces of code that I think could like totally be reusable. But we're seeing now like maybe like libraries of tools being born, but I don't think there's like a single place where you're like, I want to create an AI agent and I want to do it in like an easy way, and then I want to deploy on an infrastructure that can actually support this workload. So this is what we're aiming for, and I think will be the next step in AI.
Because what you are offering is a simple way to get access to the GPUs, no?
Yeah, it's a simple way to interface with GPUs, but at some point, like we keep adding layers. So obviously, even those cloud providers, yes, they do often give you like a raw GPU, but we keep adding layers in order to simplify the interaction with these machines. So it's like software on top of these GPUs, and then like simply the tokenizational models, so you can actually fine tune and utilize those models on top of the GPUs, and you almost forget that there's actually a GPU running underneath. And then the next step, again, AI agents. So we keep adding layers to abstract all those infrastructure decisions, but at the end of the day, the infrastructure underneath, needs to be solid and flexible and scalable to be able to do that.
The only problem that I can see in this business, is that they have three competitors that are like three monsters. So you are David against Goliath, but
100%. I don't necessarily see them as competitive. Like I don't. I think that just have different use cases, and the data center. So how do we build our capacity? The data center space is literally people are pouring money into it, and you have the three big giants, the three big hyperscalers that you mentioned. With all these investments, we are pretty much creating like silos of data centers being created here and there. In order to utilize them, first of all, they want to focus on their hardware, having the latest hardware, focusing on ESG metrics. So they are not building products for optimized for AI. That's the thing. And then they're all extremely different. So if you want like a more complete offering, taking GPUs from here and GPUs from there, you need to deal with different APIs, different protocols, different contracts. So what we're doing is standardizing the access to all these independent data centers, which can they're more like the underdogs in this space, but can also they give you extremely powerful machines with certifications and everything, but like at a fraction of the cost. So we are standardizing this access and pretty much creating like a GPU pool, kind of like an energy grid, but like a compute grid, we call it, where people can share resources, take GPUs and put them on the grid. But also the idea was always to create this solid ground to build something on top optimized for AI. So now that we have this pool of GPUs, which is scalable, it is flexible, you can take machines by the minute and stop them whenever you want. But the idea is not to just give you like a raw machine, but to give you a simplified way to work with it.
The good thing when I meet you, in Torino, for me, there are many companies these days that I met, weekly or daily. I talk with companies every day. And you see many companies that you think, okay, man, so you had to do that 3 years ago because now there are, the time is not now. Or maybe in 3 years, this is going to work, but not now because what you're doing is super advanced. But the good thing is that I think that what you're doing in Make Inference is exactly in the moment, because as you were telling, the agents is something that is going to explode in the next year, in 2025 or 2026 is something that everyone is going to be using agents. And I think that the good thing is that you're exactly in the moment when you need to do something. And this is fantastic, because it's something good for you too. So for you three, it's something that is going to work and it's something that is going to be, I think very good for you.
Well, thank you, Pablo. I really hope we are ahead of the time. I'm not sure if we really are, because definitely AI agents are something that is happening right now. But with the tech space, you always trying to not necessarily anticipate, but you need to be really ahead of the wave that's coming in order to be appealing for the space. So yeah,
I think also the issue with this
do that.
But with hyperscalers, right? You can always, if you look at AWS, they basically released something like AWS Lambda, this ultimate way to abstract running applications a decade ago. And it never stopped, let's say, Flyo and Vercel and similar platform as a service companies to offer something way better. And they're now huge, each of this. So they just managed to provide a better service and abstractions than hyperscalers, better than Cloud Run, better than Fargate and Lambda. And I think in the AI space is also the moment when, for sure, they're also building, like AWS and Google, they're also building similar things. But I always feel like they play in a catch-up game and just trying to see what is hyped in the market. And with the right approach, if you just build from scratch something focused on these use cases, that's for sure will be needed. Plus, if you compare all the benchmarks of what currently hyperscale is offering in terms of a GPU, they are almost never winning in terms of the speed of inference, because then they have all these layers that they built over the years with like hardware and virtual machine, etc. And also in the price, they are almost always more expensive than more focused and scoped infrastructure providers.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel this is why we're doing this. I feel this is a problem that people feel right now, and different startups are trying to tackle like in different ways. And we just hope that what we're doing is one of the right ways that we can do this.